Good morning, afternoon in New York, morning in LA. How are you, my friend?
Doing great. Just wrapped up the weekend. Looking forward to a great week here.
Nice little football Sunday for you. We won't get into the details.
I love football Sunday. It's hard to focus on basketball when there's so much football action going on.
I know. We had both our teams won yesterday, so it's a
Yes,
happy
sir.
Monday.
We're on a collision course for the playoffs. Chiefs versus Jets. One of
All
those.
right,
One of those statements is true. All right, let's
you
get
want to
at
get
it.
you want to get us started here. We're gonna do a little format modification today. Take us away.
Yeah, we'll do a little hybrid today. We'll dive into the games, but at a very high level, and we'll focus on props a bit. But just high level, there's 8 games today. There's 3 games at 7 p.m. And then there's 5 games starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time or later. So I think we'll start by teeing off the 7 p.m. games, dive into some props there, and then go to the later slate after that.
Okay,
Does that work for you?
works for me.
All right. So the 7 p.m. slate, the first game is the Pacers at the Sixers. Pacers are 1-2. Sixers are 0-3. They still haven't put up a victory yet, which is scary. And yet the Sixers are -12. The second game is the Raptors at the Heat. Raptors are 1-2. Heat are 1-2. Heat are -3.5. And then the third game is the Magic at the Knicks. Magic are 0-3. Not surprising. Knicks are 1-1. This is the second home game for the Knicks, I believe. Knicks are -7.5. All right. So you have any picks from any of those games?
Prop wise or side and total?
Yeah, let's dive into props today, unless you're
Props,
feeling
okay.
any game picks.
No, I didn't look too hard. I could just bring up quickly. I've been tracking the sides and totals so far this NBA season. If you bet against the money on the spreads, you'd be a 60%. You'd be winning at a 60% rate. If you bet against the money on totals, 62%. And if you bet with the money on the money line, you'd be winning at a 65% clip. So just wanted to been tracking this, so thought that was interesting to share. So we're looking at Orlando, New York. We're looking at Indianapolis, Philly, and Toronto, Miami. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Indy, Philly. So I've also been tracking who's got good favorable matchups in that game. The guys to target, most of the props are not out yet, but we'd be looking at Duarte, Taylor, and Mathurin on the Pacers side, and Embiid, Melton, and Harris on the Philly side. My one play from that game is going to be Embiid over 29.5 points. I don't have a lot of supporting data for that one because I put a little bit more effort into the other picks. But needless to say, bigs against the Pacers have been crushing, and Embiid's going to crush tonight. Embiid over 29.5 points.
All right. I have one. I like that. I think he's starting to find his form. So
Yeah.
again, he crushes bad teams. Pacers are a bad team. I have one other pick from that game. I'm going to go back to the well. Halliburton over 19.5 points. They don't respect this guy like they should yet in terms of setting his line. His line is still at 19.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
His 3 games so far are 26, 27, 24. So I think he will clear that line again. So Halliburton, 19.5 points.
Nice. The other one I just want to call out this Benedict Mathurin. I know we spoke about him yesterday. He crushed again last night. He was their first round pick. He was the 6th pick overall. But again, he had 27 points. He had 26 the night before with 7 rebounds, 2 assists. The guy's just been a stud. He had 5-3. He was 5 for 8 from 3 yesterday. No props out on him yet, but he's been an early surprise this season.
Yeah, he's a rookie. Did he play at like Arizona? Or
Arizona.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really heard of him in college, but I'm definitely going to nominate him for the all name team. We're definitely going to be going through the top names on one of these podcasts and determining who's got the best name in the league. And I like him as a strong candidate.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Like sounds like British royalty.
Benedict Mathurin.
All right, go ahead.
Let's move on to Toronto, Miami here. The players that are popping from that game based on favorable matchups on the Toronto side is Siakam and Barnes, are guys we'd want to target. And on the Miami side, we're looking at Butler, Caleb Martin, and Gabe Vincent. My pick from this game is going to be Mr. Pascal Siakam. Got really hot in that game against the Nets. When was that? Was that Friday night? Friday night, I think.
Yeah.
Had a great game. I'm gonna pick him to go. The prop I like the most is his points and assists. It's 28.5. He's done it in 20 of his last 30 games. And his last two against Miami, he had 32 and 34. I feel like he's hot. He's getting involved passing the ball. He's scoring. That 28.5 should be no problem for him.
Yeah, I was looking at his points line. That also looked good, but it felt a little bit trappy, for lack of a better term.
I know you don't like betting against Miami either.
Well, yeah, but I think this is a close one. I think both the points and assists, I think they'll be close to that line. So, be prepared to sweat.
Yeah, need a good sweat.
Good sweat.
Good sweat. I don't have any. I didn't pick anything from the Miami side, but like I said, Butler, Martin, and Vincent would be the targets I'd look at maybe a little bit later today. You got anything?
Nothing for that game.
Okay.
You want to move on to the Magic Knicks?
Yeah, Magic Knicks. Okay. I got 3 players to target from this game based on matchups. On the Orlando side, it's Mr. Franz Wagner again and Terrence Ross. And Julius Randle on the Knicks side. I'm going to have 2 plays from this game. First is Mr. Julius Randle. Most of his props are they feel a little heavy for my liking. Especially, we're still sorting things out. It seems like Randle used to get more assists, but now he has a real point guard there and Brunson. So those have come down. So the prop I'm going to look at here is his 3-point field goals. It's at 1.5. He's had 2 in each of the first 2 games the Knicks have played this season. And in 3 games against Orlando last year, he had 2, 2, and 4. So that's play number 1 from Magic Knicks. And on the Magic side, I like this one a lot. Got Franz Wagner. Where was the play here? Okay. So I have 2 that I like for him. I like his points and I like his rebounds. I feel like he probably gets over his line, which I believe is 16.5, I want to say. But here's what I'm looking at. If you take Wagner at 15 points, it's minus 200. Mm-hmm. And if you put that with 4 rebounds, it's minus 290. You put those 2 together, you got minus 101. So even money, basically. And in his first 3 games this season, he's gone 20-4, 8-7. That was the only game where he didn't get the points, and then 18-6. So he's got the rebounds in every game so far this year, and I think the 15 points, given the matchup, is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I like that. He looked good in the game against the Celtics. I thought he was just a shooter, but he actually gets around the rim too quite a bit.
He's a good player, man.
He's a good player, and I think given how young that team is, he's kind of stepping up.
Yeah.
So I like that play. I think that'll be good.
Nice. You got anything?
No, nothing for that game. I saved most of my my picks for the late slate. So you want to move on to the 8 p.m. and later games?
Yep. You want to run through them real quick, or
Yeah.
you want to? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Actually, let's just go into the first game. So we got Celtics at Bulls. Bulls are getting 6 points at home, which is indicative of how good the Celtics are. Celtics are 3-0. Bulls are 1-2. So what do you got from this game?
Dun, 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 bum, bum, ba-da, dun, dun, dun. This is the game of the day for me.
I know
And
why.
You know why?
I know why. There's a lot of birthday action in this game.
I can't. I can't pass up a good birthday game. And not only is it a good. Not only do we have birthdays, but if you look at my sheet, before I even knew that these two guys were playing in this game, I'm sorry,
Popping.
that it was their birthdays, they were popping. If you look at my sheet, Boston, Brown, Chicago, Vucevic. Look at that. It couldn't have worked out any better.
So, do you know how old Jaylen Brown is?
Jaylen Brown, I want to say, is 28.
26.
26.
And Vucevic is how old?
34.
32. You're
32.
adding years to these guys. But yeah, it's both their birthdays. Something's gonna happen with these guys. So.
Oh yeah. So I got some good stuff to look at here. So not only do I have some nice stuff based on recent output, but I took a gander at some of their historical stats on their birthday or the day before their birthday. Jaylen Brown, last 3 birthdays, 30, 9, and 3 with 3 steals. Next one, 25. This is in 2019. 25, 9, and 4, 0 steals, and 23, 4, and 0 assists. But that was going back to 2017. So he wasn't getting as much playing time. This season, first 3 games for Jaylen Brown, 35, 3, and 2, 28, 4, and 3, 12, 9, and 4. He's got steals in every game, 2 steals in 2 of the games. So here's what I'm looking at. I want to do a par on Jaylen Brown. It's 31.5. His last 3 games against Chicago, he has 38, 30. He would have just missed it, and 36. And in his last the first 3 games of the season, he has 40, 35, and 25. I also love him for a steal tonight too. But 31.5 par over. That's my Jaylen Brown play. You have anything to add on this? Any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's artificially low because he put up 12 points against the Magic. So, but he had.
I think he could get 32 points in this game. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, he had 2 big first games, somewhere around 30 points each. I think they were, and only put up 12 against the Magic. So, yeah, I think.
Yeah, he had 28 in one game, 35 in the other game. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So
Okay.
You're right. He could do this just on points.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. And then on the other side, you have Vucevic. Run through some of his birthday lines here. Last year, he was 15-9 with 3 steals and 3 blocks on his birthday. Year before, 17-8 with 3 steals, no blocks. 2019, 21-10 with a steal. 2018, 24-11 with 2 steals and a block. And going all the way back to 2017, 12-9, so almost got the double-double. Again, 3 blocks. His last 3 against Boston, he's had 11. He had 9 assists in this game. I'm not really looking at his assists, but he had 11-10 with 2 blocks, 27-6, and 13-7. So here's my play on Vus. You can get his double-double at plus 112, plus 1112. I'm sorry, plus 112. I don't know. My talking's not great today.
My talking is not
My
great.
my talking is not great today.
Me not talk well today.
Me not talk good.
All right.
Enough. And then if you wanted to do him with 15 points and 10 rebounds, that's plus 178. So I like those two.
All right. Very good. I would say that Jaylen Brown is going to have a more positive birthday effect than Vus, simply because he's under the age of 30, and I really stopped caring about my birthday once I turned 30.
It's yeah, I think you're bringing some real perspective here, Dave.
Right?
I think that's some
Right?
real talk. Yeah.
That's real talk, and I think most people would agree with that. But so I knew you were going to take some sort of angle around points or rebounds, so I had to get creative to make sure I didn't duplicate your pick. I also went with a birthday pick, but I'm going with a block party.
Nice. I love a block party, and there was a lot of blocks popping out on this. So let's hear it.
We're having a block party. So alone, Jaylen Brown is plus 150 for a block so far this year. He's 1, 2, and 1 in his 3 games. Vus, who's more traditional, block guy, is coming in at minus 145. He's 3, 0, and 3 so far this year in his 3 games. Put them together, you got a plus 330.
Wow.
Block party. Birthday block party.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I would even say if you wanted to just, I know you went to the blocks, but I was actually focusing. I don't know if you looked into steals on Brown at all, but in 2 of his last 3 games against the Bulls, he had 4 steals. And on his birthday last year, he had 3 steals. So maybe looking at a 3+ steal prop or a 4+ steal prop, take a flyer on one of those. That might be nice too.
Could be. All right, we've given these birthday boys enough time. Let's move on to the next game.
Okay.
Jazz at Rockets. Rockets are getting 2 points. Jazz are surprisingly 3-0. They're playing really well. They're actually looking like the real deal, a young team that moves the ball quickly. And the Rockets are similarly a young team who doesn't play well, so they're 0-3. So there's a bunch of youngsters playing today. Who do you like in this game?
So the guys we're going to want to target from this game on the Utah side is Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson. And on the Rockets side would be Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun, and Jalen Green. The guy I'm going to pick to highlight from this game is Jalen Green. Guy's a stud. Here's where I'm looking. You could take if you wanted to keep it simple, a nice low number, 3.5 rebounds. His first 3 games this season, he's had 5, 5, and 4. But the one I'm really looking at is his points and rebounds. It's 27.5. He can easily get there on points alone. And in his last 6 home games, he's covered in every one by a significant amount. He's at 38, 42, 33, 41, 34, 34. And the line against 27.5. So that's my play from this game.
Yeah, he's definitely the standout on the Rockets. The only guy I would consider, I didn't really have a play on this one, but the guy who was kind of popping in a couple categories in the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen.
He's had a good season so far.
Yeah, he impressed me. Where was he, on the Bulls?
Bulls, yeah.
Yeah.
Bulls, yeah.
He impressed me there, but he was a bit of a role player there. Here, he seems to be a primary option. So I don't have a particular stat to call out for him, but I would look at various plays for him.
I think he's the only NBA player from Finland.
Interesting.
All right, moving right along.
Hopefully there's no fact checking on this podcast.
There better not be.
Next game is Nets at Grizzlies. Grizzlies are -1, so pretty tight game. Nets are 1-1, and the Grizzlies are 2-1. Who do you like here?
All right. Our targets from this game on the Brooklyn side, an obvious one, Kevin Durant, but the matchup's good for him. Also, as another big, because the bigs have been really playing well against Memphis, is Nick Claxton. And rounding it out, Ben Simmons. And on the Memphis side, it's also the bigs have been doing well against Brooklyn, so it's Adams and Aldama, who I just saw went to Loyola, Loyola in Maryland. I don't have too many NBA players coming out of Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah, he was from Spain, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then came over. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so from that game, I like Nick Claxton rebounds at 7.5. He's his first two games he had this season, he had 10 and 11. So I like that. And then even the points is 11.5. He had 13 and 19. I think the books probably haven't caught up to his new output levels yet, maybe, and these are a little bit lower than they probably should be.
Yeah, their second game was against Toronto, who I don't think they're the best rebounding team. So, but the first game was against the Pelicans, and he's going up against Jovel there, so he put up 10 boards there. So I had also flagged that one. I think that's good. I think the points are good for him. Probably the safest bet is to do points and rebounds for him. But
you're probably right. Yeah, I didn't look at that, but that's probably the play.
8 rebounds seems low, right?
It does. I mean, he's had a double-double in both games to start. The double-double prop is also something to look into, especially with the rebound line being at 7.5. You probably get plus money on his double. I didn't look at it, but it's probably plus money, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So that's a nice bet too.
Okay. Any other points from this one?
Yeah, I know you had him the other day. Steven Adams, 9.5 rebounds so far this season. He only got there once, so I kind of like it just because law of averages. He should get there again, especially in a really great matchup against the Nets. And in his last two games against the Nets, he had 12 and 11. So that's leading me to that 9.5 rebound play. I think it's a little high.
Yeah, I think it's important. I didn't look at his minutes, but I think it's important early in the season, as you have a small sample set of games to look at, is to really drill into how many minutes they're playing in each of these games, because you could see a drop off in production, but the guy may have just played 10 minutes less, right? So, I would dive into that and just see if this is all correlated to minutes. I basically said the other day, if he plays 25, 30 minutes, he gets 10 rebounds. So,
yeah,
it's generally the case.
All
right.
Oh, hold on, I got one more. Ben Simmons, his rebounds and assists. I think in his first game of the season, in his debut for the Nets, he had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. In his second game, that went up to 10 and 8. So it's his line on rebounds is 7.5 and assists 6.5. The rebound and assist line is 14.5. I believe I had this the other day and it was at 16.5. So it's actually come down 2 points. I think 14.5 for him. It's also in a good matchup. I want to stay away from the points on him now, but that rebound and assist line, I'm liking that.
What, the first game of the season, he was at 13.5. It went up to 14.5, and he came in at 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind. I'm mistaken.
But he also fouled out. So,
I thought I thought in the second game of the season, whatever.
Second game. Yeah, I didn't see what he did in that one. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next game.
Yep.
We got the Spurs at the Timberwolves. T-Wolves are minus 8.5. Spurs are another surprising team so far, 2-1. T-Wolves are 2-1 as well.
Yep. 3. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Tell me who's hot, and then I have a play.
Okay. On the Spurs side, it's Devin Vassell. I don't know how you say it, and on the Minnesota side, it's Gobert and Towns. My play from this game, actually, I have 2. Devin Vassell, 16.5 points. His last 3 against Minnesota, he cleared. He had 18, 17, and 18. And in his last 3 this season, his first game, he had 11, but then he had 23 and 22. So he blew that number out of the water. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to do something with Cat. Also, we haven't had a 3-name player bet in a couple days, so I need to get something in. His rebound numbers against San Antonio look great, but that was all last season without Rudy Gobert there, so I want to stay clear of that for right now. What I'm looking at is his 3-pointers. It's 1.5. His last 3 games against San Antonio, he had 3, 7 threes, and then 4. So Cat over 1.5 threes.
Okay, I like that. I agree. Stay away from the rebounds. Let me dive in while we're talking about rebounds. I like Gobert over 14.5 rebounds. That's a monster number. It's scary.
Yeah, I looked at it.
But he's hit it all 3 games, 16, 23, 15.
Yep.
And the Spurs are the 26th worst rebounding team in the league. So this is a game likely where he'll put up over 20 rebounds, as long as it's not a blowout and he ends up sitting. I would go for it. Don't get scared if he finishes the first quarter with 3 rebounds. He's got the ability to just put up like 7 in a matter of 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I like San Antonio's ability to keep this game close. I know that the spread's 9.5, but I don't think it should be that much.
Okay.
I like their ability to keep it close, and Gobert was popping big time. So in terms of matchup, so
I got a sneaky play on the other side. I got Trey Jones. His line on points is 13.5. He's put up 14, 18, and 17. So he seems to be really taking command there. Minnesota is 24th worst team in the league in terms of points allowed. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think he's going to put up at least 15 points. So Trey Jones over 13.5 points.
I like it. Yeah, it's the second highest total on the board today. So yeah, there'll be a lot of scoring in that game. Yeah.
All right. Go to the last game.
Oh, that's right. One more game.
Ooh, forgot.
I thought we were done. I'm sorry. Denver, Portland.
This game is designed for the West Coast folks. The 10 o'clock game. Nuggets at Blazers, plus Blazers are getting 5 points. Nuggets are 2-1. Bounce back nicely from their initial loss to the Jazz. Blazers are hot, 3-0. Damian Lillard is on fire. What do you have for this game? Anything?
I don't have a prop, but I'll tell you that there's 4 players that are sticking out in this game on the Denver side. It's not such a difficult statement, but Jokic and Murray. Portland's been bad against bigs and bad against points. So that's the 2 plays we want from that side. And on the Portland side, it's also the same. Denver against opposing point guards, not great. So Dame, who's been on fire, I think he's a major play tonight. I just don't have something to present right now. Maybe you do. And Nurkic also, bigs against Denver have also been doing well. So those are the 4 guys, but a specific play from that game I don't have.
Yeah, the one official play. I like all those guys. The official play I had was Anthony. Is it Simmons or Simons?
Simons. Yeah.
Simons. Over 0.5 steals. So 1 steal, a little juice, minus 150. But so far he's 2-1-1, so he's had a steal every game. I think steals come down to playing time a lot of times, right? Just presence on the court. It's not necessarily that you're stealing the ball from the guy while he's dribbling. The guy just makes a bad pass and you're there and you catch it and you cash. So he's played over 35 minutes per game. So he's getting some really good usage. Young kid. I like it for today.
Nice.
In that game, the Nuggets are particularly bad in handling the ball too. So it fits well with the game script.
Very nice, David. I like it. I like it a lot. He's also one of the surprise. If you dig into some advanced stats, he's one of the best catch and shoot 3 guys in the entire league. Anthony Simmons, whatever it is.
He's really elevated his game since the slam dunk competition he was in a while back. So just I wanted to answer a trivia question for you, Tom, since this is your favorite part of our pod. There are 9 players in the league that have a hyphen in their name. So real official three named players.
Regardless of its regardless of first or last, you're including either in that number.
Yeah, I think they're all last.
Not Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
Go ahead.
But we've talked about 6 of them. The 3 that we haven't mentioned are Keita Bates Diop from the Spurs. No idea who he is. Dorian Finney-Smith, definitely
on the Mavs.
From the Mavs. And then Jeremiah Robinson Earl from OKC.
Yeah, look at that.
So 9.
I don't know if we'll be getting to. I don't know if we'll be getting to props on many of those guys, except for maybe good old DFS.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl over 1 minute played.
I think he's a bit of a Shamit face too. So you might want to steer clear of him.
Okay, I'll have to look him up after.
All right, David. Well done.
Anything else? Yeah.
That's all I got. I emptied the notebook. That's it.
Good, man. Good research. Let's see. I'm really gonna focus on that birthday game tonight. So
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Dudes do. All right.
All right.
Okay.
You be good.
Day. Bye.
Talk to you later.